Stash or stay? Is Kyonte Hamilton a player? Seventh round pick out of Rutgers. Is he a rookie? The Houston Texans should A, stash, get him ready for a couple of seasons, keep him on the practice squad until he's ready, or is there a chance that young man could beat out one of the team's vets to make the 53-man roster?
You are Locked On Texans, your daily podcast on the Houston Texans. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Battle Red Nation, let's go ahead and swarm together on today's episode of the Locked On Texan podcast. It's you, it's me, John Hickman, your Texans credential media member and Texans football analyst. Can't do this show without you. Thank you for lending your ear. Shout out to all of our everydayers from the Himalayas, making the Locked On Texans your first listen each and every day. As I said, man, we're going to swarm together until I am not here, and I hope to be with you guys for a very long time. Today's episode is all about the rookies. Kyonte Hamilton continuing the Rookie Diary series, looking at the 7th round pick out of Rutgers, D-tackle Kyonte Hamilton. So it'll be the fun show. We'll close out the episode having a conversation surrounding the preseason hype. I don't know about y'all, man, but I am ready for some football. We are a couple of weeks from training camp. We are a couple of more weeks from preseason action. I'm excited. And the Houston Texans got 2 joint practices, and I'm very excited for it. That'll help kind of get them ready for a very competitive year. That's the theme of this team right now, competition. But like I mentioned, the Rookie Diary series with Kyonte Hamilton, I'll keep it real. Is there a real chance there for the young man to make the roster? 7th round rookie out of Rutgers is going to be tough. You got a lot of bodies ahead of him. But then just give you guys an opportunity to get more information on who is Kyonte Hamilton. You guys may like what you hear. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. And before we even get to Kyonte Hamilton, for all of my college football 26 players out there, drop your PSNs. It's some crossplay, so if you're on Xbox, drop that as well. I'll probably get to y'all last. But drop your usernames out there. I'll be getting the game in a couple of days. And when I do, I'm going to lock in. I want to play some of y'all. But you guys are here to talk Texans, and that is what we will do. Who is Kyonte Hamilton? 7th round pick, 224th overall pick by the Houston Texans out of Rutgers, 6'4", 304, 305. Defensive tackle, also played DN in college, former high school quarterback, linebacker, and national champion wrestler. So you get a football athlete, then you get a little bit of the Big Show right there as well. You get a little bit of Kurt Angle, right? So you got an athlete all together, big body that can move some people out the way. 2 national titles and the state champion at Georgetown Prep. At Rutgers, 51 games, 31 starts, 110 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, honorable mention All Big Ten in 2024, academic All Big Ten from 22 to 24, rated as the 6th best defensive tackle in the Big Ten by Pro Football Focus. He also had 17 stops on defense. Now, all of that is great. But yeah, man, what can he do on the field? And when I looked at some of his 2024 film, Hamilton has the physical tools and the athletic tools. But I not quite sure, honestly, if the playing weight is strong enough right now for inside just yet. Granted, he's another late rounder, just like Luke Lachey. So are there really expectations there? No. I don't want to attach the Khalil Davis to him, right? You know, Khalil Davis was a guy that, you know, we loved here in Houston, and he was able to come over to Houston for the Houston Texans. That young man was able to ball, make some plays, but Davis was already in the league. However, I like Hamilton coming into this deep defensive line room with some savvy vets and one hell of a position coach. That said, the playing weight and strength is extremely concerning given the amount of times I saw Hamilton having issues with getting off or splitting double teams. And it doesn't seem like to be a too high issue. Like the technique is there. He's playing low, right? He's not high. He's not getting blown off the ball because he's high. It's just strength-wise, those guys they get him and they got him. And at this level, especially playing inside, I think that'll be an issue and problem for him. But the tools are there for Hamilton. 27 pressures, 6 sacks, 18 hurries, only missed 2 tackles, played majority of the snaps inside, but his versatility got him 4 starts at the end position, and he put it all together in his final season, which is what you want to hear. What I will say is this: he is quick. I mean, quick hands, quick on his feet, shows quickness to flush a quarterback out the pocket. I didn't see too many plays where the quarterback was flushed out because Hamilton cheated. He just played it right. He played it right. I did see Hamilton flash his athletic ability, showing good hands to swim off the block to create that pressure. And when I look at projections, okay, well, and I'll take the Nico Autry for an example. Like, can he be an inside-outside guy that Houston down the line really likes? And maybe he's going to be a part of this competition narrative that the Houston Texans are tossing around. Granted, the guys up front, most of those guys are going to be solidified to make this team. And if you do remember, to kind of attach Khalil Davis a little bit, a couple of years ago, Khalil had an amazing preseason with the Houston Texans. He was cut, brought it back on the practice squad, and then eventually made the roster. Now, Hamilton represents a classic developmental project that the Houston Texans don't need for him to be the guy this season, a lot like Lachey. He's very much a developmental. He's going to be in a great room. He's going to be around some great guys. Raw Wright, one of the best defensive line coaches in the NFL. He's been around this team the last couple of years, and we've seen guys have resurgence. We've seen guys have emergencies. Like, Raw Wright is a very good coach. He's 22 years old. He could get cut, could be brought back on the practice squad. Texans kept 17 players on the practice squad in 2024. The lone DT was Marcus Harris. Who will it be this year? Not sure. Houston has 4 D tackles on 1-year deals. And also, I'm going to throw this name out there because I mentioned, the young man played outside, played inside. Derek Barnett, he's up in age now. But it does seem like every year Barnett can get on the field and make a play for Houston. Tuhill. Both of those guys are on 1-year deals. And what I like most for the young man is DeMeco Ryans. If you're versatile, if you can find a way to get on the field, he'll use you. So he isn't just limited to inside or outside. And that will, in the long run, help him out. So what does Kyonte Hamilton's path to sticking around look like? I'll tell you next as I continue this Rookie Diary series here on the Locked On Texans podcast. Before we dive into that conversation and discussing more about the young man, Kyonte Hamilton, summer sports are in full swing. And whether you're all about baseball under the lights, the Astros have been kicking it lately, golf on the green, the WNBA, shout out to Angel Reese. She's been balling. Paige been balling. It's been some ballers in the W, man. Or if you're a high-stakes soccer guys, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. Or you can also be getting some sunburn at the beach and still be getting in on the action and the thrill of the game. It's easy to use, fast payout. It makes every regular season game feel like a must-watch event. Whether you're placing the same game parlay or watching a bet ride into the ninth inning, FanDuel makes you feel like you are a part of the action. If you're new to FanDuel, this is the perfect time to come on around. New customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet win. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Again, visit FanDuel.com to get started or open the app and download it on your phone. Battle Red Nation. We got preseason in a couple of weeks. Hey, I don't know about you, but I know about me, and I can't wait to see some Texans football. Hopefully, it'll stop raining by the end. Hopefully, because I don't want to be out there getting rained on, and I don't want my other media colleagues to be out there getting rained on, trying to take notes on their pen and pad or on their phone. They can't do it because it's raining like that. But we got training camp in a couple of weeks. We'll be getting into our position group breakdowns and giving grades. But we are here today discussing the Rookie Diary series, and it's all about 7th round pick Kyonte Hamilton. And again, guys, I want to put emphasis on this young man could very well not make the roster, right? And I think he is in a great position for himself. Again, developmental player, Big Ten player, inside, outside guy. You know, he's going to be around some guys that 2 years ago, Khalil Davis mentioned how important it was for him to be around. Malik Collins, Sheldon Rankins called both of those guys his OGs. No Malik Collins here on this roster, but they brought back Sheldon. Foley Fadakowski is here. On the outside, you got guys like Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson, and a player that I really think he should be attached to his hip, Nico Collins. Now we got to talk about fighting to get on the field. Let's keep it real. Is there a chance? Is there a chance Hamilton can make it on the field? Well, if size matters, okay? And sometimes people say size don't matter, doesn't matter. If size matters, Hamilton fits into the Houston Texans build prototype up front inside. On average, the Texans defensive tackles weighed around 303, 305, 306 during the 2024 season. The heaviest, Big Foley. The lightest, Mario Edwards. Hamilton's versatility helped a lot in college, especially in 2024. And Houston is deep out on the edge just as much as they are on the inside. So how can he make an impression to even give himself a shot? Well, number one, being available. Be available and being where he needs to be. Gap assignment, gap control. This is important. In all likelihood, his competition is Kurt Hinish, Tommy T. And I'm going to throw another name out there. Sheldon Rankins on the inside. Derek Barnett, Hill, and Nico Collins on the outside. Secondly, those joint practices are going to be a battle. They're going to be a battle. They are, especially against Detroit, where he will have to fare against one of the better offensive lines in the NFL. You got Philly, and then after Philly, you can make a case for Detroit to be 2 or 3. And that is a team that love to run the ball. Stopping the run on many occasions for the Houston Texans was a challenge in 2024. Can he be a young buck who just plays the assignment correctly, who beats his guy and can make a play tackle for loss in the backfield, or can make a gain of 7 turn out to be a gain of 2? Now, granted, as I mentioned, in college he dealt with double team issues. Didn't do a good job of shredding off, ripping off, swimming off, or however you want to put it, however you want your inside guy to get off of a double team. He didn't do a good job consistently, and going up against the Detroit Lions, the best, second or third best offensive line in the NFL, that's going to be a challenge. That's why there's an expectation there for him to make the roster. But if he wants to make an impression, it'll be going up against the Detroit Lions and making plays consistently or more times than not. If he doesn't get better at taking on double teams, being a guy inside that can disrupt those rushing attacks without those one-on-ones, his chances of making the team are extremely tough. Extremely tough. And as much of a problem that he had, making those plays, being double teamed, if you go back and look at some of his tape, the Michigan tape is probably some of the tape that I like the most from him. When it was one-on-one, he did a good job of winning those reps. Did a very good job of winning those reps. What I want to see from Hamilton is that high motor that he has. Use that high motor to win reps and just gradually get stronger and learn in different ways to win against the run at the NFL level. Ultimately, considering this is a championship window for the Houston Texans, I like to see Houston stash him. Stash him. No rush. Develop him for down the road. The fullness of this unit stands out more than any other unit on this team from top to bottom. And unlike some of the other rookies, the Texans have the least amount of need to get Hamilton on the field right away. So if we look at the rookies in the 2025 draft for Houston, they need Jaden Higgins to be a factor right now. Right now. Ariante Ursery may not be a factor in 2025, but that'll be it. 2026, he's going to be the projected starter on an offensive line that a lot of mock drafts have Houston taking another tackle in 2026. Jalen Noel, they need him this year. They need him. Woody Marks, we'll see how that plays out. But obviously there was a need there for boosting that running back position before Nick Chubb. With the question marks surrounding Jimmy Ward, yeah, Houston going to need Jalen Reed. Got Jalen Smith. Can he be the outside CB3 that Houston desperately needs? Hamilton, and ironically, he was the last pick in the draft for Houston or, around that. There's no need for him this year. And the last thing you want to see happen to this kid is him getting worked in real time, in real meaningful snaps, and it's blowing back on him. And the confidence is being shot. Allow him to get stronger and work on his flaws so when he does get an opportunity to be out there in the field, he's getting a real shot. Now, where is the hype level for the Texans? We're 2 weeks away from preseason, from training camp. Guys, we are 2 weeks away from training camp. How hype are you? I want to hear from you, so stick around for more Locked On Texans to close out today's podcast. Thank you for making Locked On Texans your first listen of the day. For your next listen, check out Locked On NFL Scouting as training camp gets closer and moves are consistently being made. Host Kyle Krabs and Joe Marino will make you the most informed NFL fan this offseason. Find Locked On NFL Scouting on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. A little nugget for you guys. The Locked On Podcast Network will be dropping their own personal top 100 list. We're going to have a few Texans on there, so I can't wait for you guys to see that list. All 32 teams. Y'all got to know I rep for y'all. I hope y'all are happy with the results. And some of y'all may not be happy with where y'all see CJ Stroud or maybe Nico Collins, but it will be a fun conversation to be had. Now, preseason hype. I think we've done it all, right? Especially if you're in Houston, you've suffered through a rainy summer. You've suffered through bad traffic. You've suffered through a lot. A lot of us are just ready for some football. But this season, it feels different. It feels different. It feels different. And not just because of training camp in a couple of weeks. Like everything that will transpire once training camp kicks off until the first week of the NFL regular season, the Houston Texans have a lot riding on getting better and being better. Houston plays Minnesota, Detroit, and Carolina in the preseason. 2 playoff teams, 2 division champs, and Carolina is a team we saw surge offensively towards the end of last season, and Bryce Young just really kind of flat out balled out, and there's no way around it. I don't know about y'all, but I am really excited to see how the Houston Texans go about this preseason. And we need to keep it real. Houston must take this preseason seriously, more so than they did in 2024. For that reason alone, I am hyped for this year's preseason. 2024 felt like, hey, we got Bobby, we got CJ, we got Stephon, we got Tank, we got those guys who figure it out. Excluding the Hall of Fame game, the Texans didn't have their starters out there a lot. It might have been due to the arrogance or trust that the offense will work out. And again, that's exactly why I'm hyped. Once again, like I came away from the preseason last year thinking to myself how lackluster and underwhelming it was. And a lot of us were told it's not that big of a deal, but it was. all things considered, and even though I don't think C.J. Stroud's sophomore slump is as bad as most people try to make it out to be, there was some humbling going on in 2024. And on all accounts, the offensive preparation for last season was lackluster. And in terms of the preseason, Houston failed themselves. Granted, Houston offense looked much more different when Stephon Tank and Nico was on the field at the same time with Joe Mixon. And I understand that. And more times than not, uh, regardless of what people may feel and how people may go about, talent can outwork bad talent can absolutely overcome bad coaching. Houston didn't have those guys out there on the field a lot. But even from an offensive line perspective, Houston would have been, if they would have been real with themselves about the age of the once great Shaq Mason and the interior line's offensive communication issues, then they would have went about it an entirely different way. So that's why I'm hype about this preseason. You got Nick Haley. You got Cole Popovich. You got two rookies that we are expecting to be a part of this offensive identity soon. Actually, a lot of you guys are kind of done with the vets that were here from 2022. A lot of you guys are done with John Mitchell. A lot of you guys are done with Xavier Hutchinson. A lot of you guys don't have faith in the Braxton Berrios, who hadn't played a lot in the last couple of seasons. Justin Watson is a name that I'm not sure he makes the roster. So I know you're feeling like that. The coaching staff may not feel like that. Nick Haley may want to get his own evaluation of guys like John Mitchell and especially Xavier Hutchinson. I haven't talked very positive about Xavier Hutchinson, not in a bad way. I just haven't talked a lot about him in general. But he made me view differently in this offense compared to how he was viewed in the offense prior to Nick Haley. I'm just keeping it real. He also didn't get a lot of opportunities. So I'm just ready for some damn football. I'm ready to see Nick Haley's offense. I'm ready to see them big boys up front. I'm hyped. I'm ready to see which personnel works better for Houston. 11, 12, 22. Like, I'm ready to see which player becomes a surprise. Get clarity on the type of offense Houston would have. I'm just ready for some Houston Texans football. And I'll be covering it each and every step of the way here on the Locked On Texans podcast. So do me a favor, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment to the Locked On Texans podcast on YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast. Follow me on Twitter at John_Hickman12. Again, just a little tidbit. We will be dropping the Locked On Network's top 100 rankings soon. I'm excited. I hope you guys love it. You guys will love it. Honestly, it'll create some very good conversation on how the network as a total may view some of these players and how you may view some of the Texans players. But I will say this, regardless of how they are viewed right now at the time of this recording, July 9th, once we get to September and October, it's a different conversation. It's a different conversation. If there's one player that I am excited to see this season, it ain't CJ. I'm excited to see the rookies, but it isn't the rookies. It's not really the offensive line. It's not Joe Mixon. I am very excited to see 12 out there. Nico Collins is a player that I think the world of. There is not another quote unquote vet in that room that will overtake him. His voice matters. His execution on the field matters. His leadership on and off the field matters. Nico is a player that no matter where he's ranked right now, preseason rankings, and this is preseason rankings, and this is why I'm hyped. No matter where Nico is ranked right now, if Nico plays 16 games, the conversations will be different. The conversations surrounding who is top 5, top 6, top 7. I got Nico top 8. The conversations will be different. There is not a limitation on Nico Collins' game. 3rd and 13, we need a big play. Nico. 2nd and 6, we just need to move the chains. Nico can do it all. His body needs to hold up. And I'm going to say this. Houston did restructure Nico's contract to make some room to get some of these guys on his roster. Let Nico go out there and play 16 games. Let Nico go out there and be on pace for 2K again and average 122 to open up the year. Let Nico go out there and do it again. Maybe the first all-pro receiver Houston has had since DeAndre Hopkins. That's how special Nico Collins is. And that's why you guys should be hyped, man. Y'all should be hyped. Nico is a damn, he's a gazelle out there running routes. That's a gazelle. Until next time, ladies and gents, Bulls on parade across the nation. We're going to swarm together here on the Locked On Texans podcast. Peace. Squad show on Friday.